This is the 21st season of Bass Talk Live. BTL is presented by Bass Cat Boats, Strike King Lures, AFTCO, Pro Guide Batteries, Spro, Gamakatsu, The Bass Tank, Denali Rods, Beatdown Outdoors, and Sunline.
BTL coming at you.
Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of BTL Bass Talk Live. We're just going to have like a light, basic show today, and every once in a while, I get a text from a buddy, and I'm pretty rude in return. I say, show off. I say, shut up. I say, leave me alone. And it's usually because I'm really jealous of who they are and what they're doing. Long time BTL consultant. Yeah, he's co-hosted the show. He's been around forever. One of the best favorite guests of BTL is Charlie Hartley. And let me just read you some of the text that over the past couple days, well, most of them are photos of him holding it. So he says, flew Terrian from Waterton, New York, picked him up 15 minutes from the airport, dropped him off, was fishing 20 minutes later, told him we'd catch a few. Then there's pictures of 5 and 6 pounders. Priceless. More pictures of it. Then he sends me more pictures of perch and all sorts of things. He's saying paradise. And I thought, you know what? The last couple of times we've had old Charlie Hartley on the show, he has been slaving away at SignCom, which allows him to do things like go up to the St. Lawrence River and just live the good life. What's up, Charlie?
Hey, Matt, I'm in our favorite place in the world. This is my favorite place, at least for 3 months out of the year. Right now I'm on Lake Ontario, but I'm in the Thousand Islands area. I've virtually launched at like 8 different ramps. I've launched at Chameau, Westcott Beach, Henderson Bay, Cape Vincent, Clayton, Chippewa Bay, Ogdensburg, Morristown, and I have about 3 more days here in Paradise. And, I haven't been here when it started. The trees are already changing color and the water's already dropped to like 65 degrees. So it's really, I'm so used to when you and I are here, it's the summer and they're deep, and I keep trying to fish deep, but we've caught our biggest ones in 3 to 5 feet of water on jerk baits and spinner baits. Oh, that
sounds fun. Can you see them come up and hit it when you're using a moving bait shallow, or is it just like kind of ghost out of nowhere?
Ghosts out of nowhere on little grass edges on bluff banks, and of course a little wind helps. No joke, I left the boat in the water at the ramp. This one ramp I put in, I'm not going to say the name because it's my favorite place in the world, and I always want my parking spaces empty because I'm the only one that launches there. But it was 6 miles. I went to pick Terry up at the airport, and the navigation said 6 miles to the airport. And I was worried it'd be an airport you couldn't get a boat in. So I left the boat here. The ramp's so safe, I didn't feel bad. Picked him up, had him back in the boat in 10 minutes. And luckily, we got 1.5 calm days before it started blowing. And then I got him out there on a day when it really got nasty, and he wasn't interested in going back out the next day.
So this is one of the reasons I wanted to get you on, because this is a pretty cool story. So Terry Seagraves, longtime angler out of Florida with both. He fished the pro circuit for 20 years, long time with bass, over $250,000 in earnings. The dude's been around and knows how to catch fish. But you're sending me pictures, and I'm going to pull one up like this. Like here, I got to change the screen here real quick. And it's Terry holding a fish. And then the more I find out about it, did you literally like call him in just for a day or two out of nowhere and just like an old buddy said, hey, you got to get up here? And then as soon as he's off the plane, he's on the water, and then you dropped him right back off?
Yeah, we planned it a couple weeks in advance. When I was up here for the Open, I stayed an extra week and I kept sending him pictures. And he used to come up here every for the fall swing. Even back when he fished, we'd have fall tournaments up here. And he hasn't been on the tour for maybe 10 years now, so he hasn't been up here. And I said, dude, you don't even have to bring a rod or just bring a rain suit. I'll take care of you, and I'll pick you up at the airport, and I'll show you my favorite playground in the world. And literally that first afternoon, I mean, we didn't get back to the ramp till 4 in the afternoon. We fished for 2 hours, got our fill of catching smallmouth, and then ate at a sidewalk cafe right by the ramp when we came in. I mean, this place, Matt, you joked about it the other time. You can go in, have a sandwich, and go back out and catch another 4-pound smallmouth. The reason I enjoy it here is when you're not in a tournament, you can launch near your favorite places. You don't have to make 100-mile boat rides. You can make your boat ride by truck. And I have so much history, Matt. I've never shared this probably with you, but when I made it to the tour, which is what the elites were called before the elites, it was the tour. This was always one of the tournaments on our invitationals. And a couple years it cost me making the tour because I was too chicken to run out of Clayton into the big lake. And finally, by the third year, I had the kahunas to run out in the big lake. And I had a top 10 and got to fish with George Cochran the last day. He had to go in my boat. That's when it was boater on boater. And I was doing good in the tournament and he wasn't. And he had to sit. He goes, I'm going to have to sit in Tracy's seat today, aren't I? And I said, yep. But I have so much history here with friends that are no longer with me. And to be able to have Terry come up from 1,000 miles away. And, he hasn't caught a smallmouth bass since 9/11, he said. So how many years is that? 25 years or something crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
So pretty cool.
Do you remember who won the first invitational in 1995? In September. It was legitimately September 14th.
Dusty Pines on a rat.
Was that okay? Because I'm looking at
you mean the one I was in?
Yeah, the first one you were in 1995.
The one I made the top 10 in, KVD won. And it was so unreal. Yeah, KVD skipped the Redman Championship to fish this invitational, even though he was already on the tour, because he goes, I might go to the Red River in the Redman Championship and finish in the top 10. He goes, but if I go to Thousand Islands out of Clayton in the fall, I'll win. And he won. And that's when 15 pounds was a big bag, Matt. That was pre-gobies. He had 19 pounds the last day and knocked it out of the park in KVD style. I remember every day of it, every moment, every fish. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was cool. That was literally what, 20 years ago to the 95. No, 30 years ago.
30,
oh my
Matt,
God,
30,
that was 30 years ago,
yeah,
basically to the day, which makes this
that's
show.
That's when I made the tour. Yep, I can tell you where Tracy and I stayed and everything. And I chickened out the first day. I ran all the way over here, and it was too rough where I wanted to fish. And I tucked in behind an island, and I wasted half the day before I went out in those big waves and drifted over my stuff. And I only had time to get like 3 or 4 the first day. But then the second 2 days it laid down, and I got right to them and put the beat down on them.
What did you guys used to have to do to get ready 30 years ago? I'm assuming that's a 150 horsepower, 18 and a half foot boat.
16 foot 10, 150.
We'd have 17 foot boat.
Yeah, we'd have a spare bilge pump laying out on the floor with a tube over the side. That first time I made it over here to the Chameau Bay area, it was so rough. There was at least 10 waves that turned my bow back 180 degrees, and my co-angler was praying one of those would scare me to go back, and I kept going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just semantics here. The very first one you fished was 30 years ago. The one where you smoked them was a couple years after that.
Right.
When you made the tour. Ironically, I was confused over here looking because, funny enough, the man with the initials won both of those. The very first one in 95, and the next one he had 51 pounds. But yeah, that would have been a 3-day tournament.
Yep.
And you had 37.15 for 3 days.
And I think I only had 3 fish the first day. Possibly.
Holy cow. There were 3 boats that fished in that tournament. You top 20'd it and you made $2,200. Were you guys bitching at Bass back then about the payouts? 350 boats and you freaking $2,000. Come on, Charlie.
That was like 20 grand is now. We're talking 30 years ago. You could buy a new truck for $2,000.
Ironically, Kevin still won. He won a total of 42 grand, which is still what an opens win is kind of like then. But do you think that history and getting on the water as you get older back on places that you fish for 20, 30, 40 years that's part of the magic of fishing, that there's not many other things you can do where you can really return to the exact same spot where the magic happened year after year, and it is identical every time you come back?
I can show you where I caught my first Lake Ontario smallmouth about 5 miles from here on a chrome blue rattle trap, because we knew nothing about finesse fishing or anything. You just went out and threw at points and stuff. But yes, especially this place. Tracy and I spent like 10 of our anniversaries here in the fall. We rented a condo here once for a month right on the river, and I literally did a couple of big bank changeovers where we would leave the condo, drive all night, survey all the bank branches. Tracy would take notes all night. We'd measure buildings, send it to my company. They'd draw up the signs. Then I'd go meet with them the next week. But we were home quartered out of St. Lawrence River. We just love it up here.
Now, what were you saying that one of the first pro tournaments that were out of there was one on a rat?
Dusty Pines up in Lake of the Isles. And didn't you know also that Bo Dowden won here on a jig and pork? He won the first classic, the only classic that was up here, all before smallmouth. These are all largemouth tournaments. Before the smallmouth played, before the gobies and the zebra mussels, it was largemouth waters. And we didn't, people didn't go out in the lake. They didn't really venture out there. Rick Klum was the first one that ran out here and won on a spinnerbait. With like 15 pounds a day, even before Kevin won. That's how much history is here. And the guy that brought us up here originally, his name was Dick Gaylord. He recently passed away. And when you're up in Clayton, you'll see Gaylord Hardware and Gaylord Real Estate and Gaylord Building Supplies. And he was like the first one to get the community to put money in to bring Bassmasters up here, way, way back in the Ray Scott days.
I don't think a lot of people realize, when it comes to even to this day, to this open, there's usually, especially a new fishery or somewhere that's kind of out, there's usually a guy or a gal behind the scenes who kind of understands what it is, has some connection to fishing, and they're the ones who goes to the chamber or the city of commerce, depending on if they have, parks and rec grants or city grants for events, and kind of says, hey guys, like, I know you've never heard of this, but this is really cool, and we have the infrastructure for it. And then they're usually, you'll see them kind of standing around at the event, just kind of off to the side going, hey, this is really cool. But hey, I got on the Bass Fishing Archives, and you are dead on. I didn't doubt you, but I wanted some more information. It said Dusty Pine. What a name. Dusty Pine is probably best known for an event held in 1990. He won the $175,000 Bassmaster New York Invitational, edging out Guido Hibden for the title. It could be argued that this is the event that put rat fishing on the national map. Dusty used a white man's rat with 20-pound test line.
I've got one in the boat. How
long would it take you to dig one of those out?
Coming up.
Okay,
it's in my frog box. Yep.
I'm going to keep reading here. A white man's rat with 20-pound test line in the thick scum above shallow beds of milfoil to capture the win. He was the only one fishing that way on waters better known for smallmouth. So
I've replaced the skirt. The original skirt looked like a hard rubber comb, but they all rotted off. So I've added skirts to them.
So that is...
Way back
there could
when.
be a different, but that was the original hollow body frog win.
Look here, they even put a sneaker hook in the back of it.
The old trailer hook on the hollow body.
and they put it on with a 3-way swivel, if you can see it.
Yeah. So that was one of the original, the biggest money win on what I'm
before
saying,
that,
a hollow bodied frog.
Before we had hollow bodies, we had the Moss Boss.
So I've seen those. How do those fish, Charlie?
Oh, terrible. They all threw
like no. What do you do with the Moss Boss?
Now.
Do you reel it and it dies?
We were throwing them on mono.
Yeah, but how do you fish the Moss Boss? It looks like a spoon to me, but it's a topwater bait, right?
There's the old spoon.
But you fish that on top.
Yeah, and it's got weight, so when you kill it in the holes, it goes.
When was the last time you had one of those suckers tied?
I up here just for fun. I tie them on all the time. Yeah. Dude, I got to tell you this. The other day, after it got blowing real bad, Terry and I caught big smallmouth. Not bragging, but had a ball.
And I want you to brag. This is you brag on the St. Lawrence.
Even though it's blowing like hell, I'll run us in here to I won't say the name of the bay, but it's anyway. I got a spot back here. I'm pretty sure we can get some frog bites. I'm not kidding you. I took us to the first pocket, and first cast, we doubled up on frogs. I sent you the picture of us two holding, and we both caught one like 4.5. And then yesterday, 2 days ago, when I pulled out to take him to the airport, there was a weigh-in at Chameau. I thought I'd missed the weigh-in. I came in early to take him to the airport, but they were weighing in at like noon. Must have been a half-day tournament. Took 22.80 to win, and it was a tie for big bass between a largemouth and a smallmouth that were 565. Isn't that crazy? And it was blowing 30 mile an hour. No one could have got out of Chameau Bay, and they caught them that good in the bay.
I'm perusing Lynn Dollar's page here to see if we have any Dusty Pines.
I knew him. I fished
hot rat action on here.
Yeah. And
I don't know. Might have to return to that.
Yeah. And Bo Dowden won, and I think Roland come in second or third in the classic that was here.
When did this thing turn into a big time smallmouth deal? So Charlie, I haven't been around as long as you. 2007, I came into this thing, and since I've kind of known it, that Polinick when the Elite Series first came out, he made that epic run out into the lake, but then rose right kind of when Maxent came out, and you had a lot of 1 foot contours and the mapping, and obviously no forward facing, but guys on the 2D and the drifting thing and the lake thing. So when I came in 20 pounds, it was like that 20 pound mark was pretty standard.
Yep. Listen. When we used to come here, there were no gobies and no zebra mussels. There was no grass. So when you'd get up shallow, you wouldn't get grass from, now you get up near 8 feet of water, it's grass all the way up, except for some rock open areas. Back then, before the zebra mussels cleaned it up and before the gobies, there was very little grass. So you were really fishing like cracks in the rock, glacial cracks that you could visually see because the water, but we'd fish less than 5 feet back then because we didn't have electronics and we didn't have contour maps, if you couldn't see the boulder. But one of my favorite ways to catch them up here in the spring is off boulders that are as big as a Volkswagen, but they're half dry. They're only that deep, 2 or 3 feet. And you can look all the way around the boulder and you'd say, man, if there's a smallmouth there, I could see it. And you drop a bait there and it's like they're wedged up under that rock. They come out and get it. And I got to do that with Terry the other day. It was calm on the lake and he was catching them on a jerk bait and there was a boulder up there half dry. And Terry half-heartedly threw at it, and I said, "Take me up to that thing." And I took my trolling motor from him, and I dropped that drop shot on the shady side of that boulder, and a 4-pound smallmouth. He couldn't believe it. It's one of those things like you'd have to be able to see that fish if it was there.
I got it right here. So the round goby was first identified in the St. Lawrence River during the late 1990s. It is believed that the gobies entered the river through the ballast water from ships, particularly from Asia and Europe, which helped facilitate, boy, my pronunciation is off this morning, which helped facilitate their rapid spread.
They were in Erie first, and it took them a long time to get over Niagara Falls into Ontario and then to the St. Lawrence.
Now, can you still go?
I think we had them in Erie for 10 years before they got up to St. Clair and before they got down here.
Now, can you still go to the places you caught them in the 90s without gobies and catch fish there, Charlie? Like, I'm sure rocks don't change, current doesn't change.
But a lot of those rocks are surrounded by grass beds now.
Oh,
so
okay.
you know what I'm saying? You get
Yeah.
up shallow now, and you're in grass bed water.
Nate, what are the top 5 most fun ways to catch them on the St. Lawrence? Because we all
spook.
see like how it wins. But
number 1 is a spook.
So they'll eat a spook on the St. Lawrence. I always had heard St. Lawrence River, Thousand Islands, they don't eat topwater.
Oh my gosh. Burning a chartreuse spinnerbait with chartreuse blades literally as fast as you can reel it. 100 miles faster than an 8.1 will bring it. And
topwater, Charlie. Topwater. Let's go back to the topwater.
Yeah.
One at a time. You said they will eat a spook on the St. Lawrence River.
Caught some with Terry the other day. Yes, sir.
Really?
I'm going to catch some today, especially back here in Chameau. Oh, yeah. Big time.
They blow up on it, or do they suck it under like maple?
They play volleyball with it. Sometimes they knock it 3 foot in the air and don't get hooked.
Okay, so one's a spook.
And sometimes you'll see 3 or 4 fish under it at once. I'm not kidding.
Okay, 2's burning the classic smallmouth spinnerbait.
Yeah.
Chartreuse spinnerbait.
Yeah.
And you're just burning it as fast as you can, and it just stops. Because I've never done it up there. Yeah. I've drifted a flatworm.
And you literally you put it on a flipping stick and you throw it as far as you can, and they usually get it the second turn of the handle.
What's the 3rd most fun way to catch them up here?
Jerkbait's pretty cool, but that's a lot of work for me anymore. That's why chatterbait works too, but that's just like the spinnerbait bite. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. My next favorite one is a Kitech swim bait.
Okay.
Just slow reeling it over that same grass edge when they won't react to the spinnerbait or the topwater. Because that swim bait bite, there's something about that. You're reeling, and it just goes, you know.
Have you done the hair thing? Have you done the little marabou?
It's too slow. I got some, but I bought half-ounces because I can't wait for them.
Whoa.
I don't like that slow crap, man.
Half-ounce marabous?
Same with, when I fish a minnow here, you're in current. I caught some yesterday out of 55 feet, Matt. It takes forever for your bait to get down there.
No, I'm talking about the little bitty marabous that are a 16th ounce that you just slowly reel over the shallow. It's like a crappie jig.
Yeah, I bought some local ones. See, they're in a white paper bag. Yeah. Well, no. That's like a walleye jig, Charlie. I'm talking about the 16th ounce or the 8th ounce little. Those. Have you done that yet? I bought the big ones.
The big ones, big or deep. Have you done the little ones? Let's focus on those for 5 seconds. No, it's not, dude. So I don't know what the hell I'm doing with that, Charlie. Trust me, I am not a marabou guy. Last time I was
shallow there, right? Real shallow,
dude. You put that on your longest spinning rod, and this is coming from a guy from Oklahoma who's done it 3 times. I've done it once at Mille Lacs and 3 times at Thousand Islands. You got to try this today. So those shallow boulders, that same stuff where you said there's not a fish, right?
Right.
You tie that on. You put it on like 8-pound test, 7-pound test. Your longest spinning rod that you can cast it the farthest. Spinning, not the jig. We're talking hair.
Sniper jig.
Charlie, just 30 seconds. Focus with me on the hair because I think you'll love this. You cast that stuff out in the shallow stuff, the same stuff where you think there isn't, the clean rock, and you just slow reel it. And just like they appear on the boulders, all of a sudden you'll have just a black or a brown ghost behind that hair. And then it's just and they're in like 2 foot of water, and it's just a rodeo for the next 5 minutes. You got to try it. It's exciting as hell. It's not boring. I promise.
I'll do it today. It's calm enough. I'll do it today. I left out another one of my.
Take a little chunk of Cinco. Hold on. Take a little chunk of Cinco and thread it on the back of that so you can get some casting distance and just bomb it.
Or you put a piece of gulp back there. I know,
dude, it's so fun. You got to try it.
Anyway, the other bite I left out that I catch a lot of fish here in the river under heavy current, and I know you hate it, but in current you wouldn't hate it, a Carolina rig. You get the boat going the same speed as the current. along a rock edge. You drop that thing down with a 1 ounce weight, and you just let it go. Just bounces along the rocks, bounces along the rocks. All of a sudden, boom! When they hit that thing at 2 mile an hour in that current, that tries to take that Carolina rig rod out of your hand.
I had a co-angler that had me down 3-0 and called twice on a Carolina rig with a chigger craw on the back, and it was.
I throw the speed crawl, and I'm going to show the scenery around. Put me up big screen. Let me show a scenery before you kick me off the show.
Yep, I know you're getting antsy. You got to get you going fishing.
Oh, I thought you had other guests. I didn't want to eat up all your time.
No, it's you, but you're at Thousand Islands with limited time. I mean, dude. Lincoln says walk you through your Lake Ontario's Thousand Islands sea rig setup.
Easy. I like cylinder weights better than egg weights because they don't roll in the current. If you'll notice, the locals fish anyway, not an egg sinker. It's a cylinder weight. Here, I'll show you.
Yep.
Yeah. And I throw 17 or 20 as the main line, and then a 15-pound leader when I'm in heavy turbulent water because they can't see the leader. So in that heavy current, even though it's clear, there's all kinds of stuff set them. It's a violent environment, so you can use a 15-pound leader. When I'm out on the flats of the lake and it's calm, I'll go down to a 12-pound leader. I don't like a very long leader, but some people love real long ones. I like 18 to 2 feet, and I throw a 3-aught or 4-aught owner all-purpose offset hook and a speed crawl. I like, believe it or not, everything from black to green pumpkin, a lot of different watermelon hues. Yep.
Walk me through your drop shot then. Or what rod are you drop shotting with? Because everyone has a little bit of a different.
Well, I drop shot with heavy stuff, and no one.
Is that the new Falcon?
It's an old. Well, it's the Buku. It's their bottom of the line $99 rod. And it's a 7 foot. 7 foot's the right length for me. I'm a little guy. I can skip. I do 7 foot's my all-purpose spinning rod. If I had a choice, 7 foot. Yeah. And this is a medium heavy. I mean, it's literally rated for like a 20-pound test, 10 to 20. It's heavy. But when you're fighting a 5 or 6 pound, this ain't like fighting a 2-pound spotted bass. When you get a 5 or 6 pound smallmouth on in 30 feet of water, I like to have a rod. I don't want to be at their mercy. I want them at my mercy. And 15-pound or 10-pound, depending on how deep or how heavy the current on the braid. And then usually 10-pound leader. I will go down to 8, but with all the zebra mussels, 10 or 12-pound leader. And a shorter dropper than most people. And
really?
Yesterday, the 4-inch, the new the Z2, they come out with different sizes now, different lengths. They got a 3-inch, they got the original baby Z2, and I'm not sponsored by them. They got a 4-inch now, and the 4-inch is the bait's a little bigger in the fall. I discovered that. The stuff they coughed up was a lot bigger than my little ones that I fish here in the summer.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've had the pleasure of doing some hermit stuff on Thousand Islands where no one knew I was up there. There wasn't a tournament
you went out with Travis Manson.
Yeah, well, he was guiding too. So I've had like 5 or 6 days where literally it's the middle of the week. No one else is out there.
Yes,
I'll tell you what.
Yes.
There is a big difference up there.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think you can even explain it. When there's not a tournament, when you're not practicing, you can go hours without seeing another boat. Like the way I describe it to people is there's parts of this place, especially over in the Canadian Narrows, where it looks like the Chronicles of Narnia, and you're the only human being on the surface of the earth. It is a magical place.
Matt, because of my position in life, I've gotten to stay over at some of these great places the week after the tournament. And what we don't realize, I mean, I'm not saying we pressure a lake. We do. That's not my point. My point is, when we leave, you go to launch the next day at downtown Champlain, Plattsburgh, or you go to launch the next day at Clayton. You are the only boat in the trailer. There'll be one other rowboat. I mean, those fish go from a week of pressure to nobody. Mm-hmm. I mean, they don't see a bait, it's all these great fishers we go to get really tough when we're there for a tournament.
Not here.
But when you have it to yourself, other than Guntersville has a full parking lot every day. But these places are empty. I mean, I'm the only bass boat in the parking lot at the ramp.
All right, walk us. I mean, obviously not where, but for the rest of us that are not, I don't want to say lucky because it's not lucky, because in my opinion, the reason you're able to be up here is because you've busted your ass for the past 30 years building your company. That's what I'm saying. You're up early, so I don't want to use the term lucky. But the rest of us, we may be in an office, we may be doing some work. We're not at Thousand Islands. Just walk us through like the rest of your day. Like are we making a long run? Are we going shallow? Are we going deep? Like, what's the game plan for September 10th on Thousand Islands?
I've been locked in the river for 2 days from wind, and yesterday I stayed in the river and I shouldn't have. It was like glass and I was biting my teeth. So this morning I drove out to Chameau Bay area, Black River area of Ontario, because when the wind doesn't blow, this is where you catch a 6 or 7 pounder that you dream of. And unfortunately, it's blowing a little. I want.
So those trees are moving. That's not a good sign up there. If you see any foliage or tree moving.
Yesterday it was like glass. I sent my buddies videos. I mean, you could have skipped a stone across it. But anyway, long story short, the nice thing here is if it's too rough out there, I'm not in a tournament. I don't have to fight those big waves. I'll pull out. I'll put back in at Chameau Bay where it's calm, and then I'll probably stop halfway back at dusk in Chippewa Bay and fish a frog for some largemouth, and then I'll go back to this beautiful place I stay and eat at the restaurant and go to bed and wake up tomorrow, and after I get SignCom work done, I'm going to do it again.
Really just freeze it.
You still there? Oh,
very nice. All right. Yeah. No, I'm here, Charlie. I have I'm back. I've got oh no, that's the first time that's happened in a year, Charlie. You know what that little glitch was? That little glitch was noise in the line. That's my
Oh, I thought you got that repaired finally.
I did. That's my arch nemesis. It has not happened in a year.
It's my
and it just
energy.
Happened again. It is definitely your electric energy. No, like for someone who streams, the phrase "noise in the line" is the worst thing you could hear. It's something in the cable, because I mean I'm plugged directly in. Basically, it's not functioning properly.
By the way, it was 38 degrees this morning, supposed to be 37 Friday morning, and but 75 in the afternoon. And the trees are just starting to change colors. The next 2 weeks up here is going to be breathtaking. I mean, this is probably one of the prettiest places in the world. And I've been, at least in the United States, I've been from Clear Lake to, I winter in Florida. I've been all over bass fishing. And as far as scenery goes and good fishing, you'd have to agree, Matt. You've been around.
Yeah, it's a deal. All right, I'm gonna let you get out there. I know you've gotten progressively antsier as the interview has gone on. So,
you're making me talk about fishing.
Send it, Charlie. Go send it. Go jack some 5-6 pound smallmouth.
Have a great day. Keep doing good things.
All right, see ya. All right, that is the man, the myth, the legend, Charlie Hartley, and we're gonna take a break. And when we come back, I teased it last week. I've got, I didn't want to really talk about it in depth until it happened, until I knew it was going to happen, until it had happened, until I knew that y'all were going to get a chance to watch and listen to it. So we will talk about what is coming Monday morning at 8:30 a.m. Central Time on BTL right after this.
The new Puma STS has been redesigned from the ground up. With the angler, design, function, and performance in mind, nothing on this new offering was compromised, and the only thing carried over from the previous version is the name. Based on the Soft Touch series hull that started with the flagship Jaguar, this new model is nimble and performs incredibly well at all speeds with either a 250 or 300 horsepower engine. Featuring a new 96-inch wide-body footprint, this hull measures out at 20 foot 7 inches in length. Industry-leading design coupled with tournament-winning performance. The Puma STS from Basscat. Feel the rush.
Pro Bass Adventures is reinventing Mexico bass fishing. With boats equipped with 12-inch Garmin units and LiveScope Plus, free loaner fishing rods, and no-cost airport transportation, Pro Bass Adventures is proudly putting you in the best position for success. Pro Bass Adventures has lodges on Lake Baccarat and Lake El Salto, Mexico's two best trophy largemouth bass lakes. Visit probassadventures.com or email probassadventures@gmail.com. The official Mexico fishing lodge of Bass Talk Live.
As a professional angler, there's only one thing that connects you to your paycheck. Probably the most crucial part to tournament bass fishing. I use Sunline because they have a line for every application. Shooter, FX2, All Might, super light line, big stuff, big sticks. Sunline has you covered.
Sharp as can be. Super strong, super durable.
Really good penetration.
Thinner and stronger.
Catch fish after fish.
I want to make sure that I'm using the best stuff possible.
World's finest hook.
World's finest hook.
Gamakatsu. World's finest hook.
At Beatdown Outdoors, we know you depend on your gear to hold up in any condition. We built for that. We test for that. In fact, we pride ourselves in that. Because we know when the time comes to test your gear, you aren't going to take it easy, so we won't. We build premium, made-in-the-USA products that you can rely on in the moments when your equipment should be the last thing on your mind.
All right, welcome back. Charlie Hartley, yes, I agree. A complete national treasure. That's why I get him on BTL. Like that dude. And here's the thing, like that is Charlie Hartley. Like he is 0% different when you run into him on the water, when you're drinking a beer with him at a Chili's, when he's on BTL, when he's down in Florida. Like that dude has it figured out. And like I said, I don't use the word luck, like you're lucky enough to be there, because you also want to talk about a guy, and he's talked about it on the show before with the business that he owns, where he started. I mean, he started from the ground up. I think he said he was cleaning bathrooms and sweeping floors up to owning the sign business. When I stayed, when he invited me for the Open to stay with him and his lovely wife, he was up every morning at 3 a.m. in the kitchen on calls, doing work from 3 to 6 a.m. and then going out and practicing for the Open. And he does that, and that's in Ohio, so he can enjoy the fruits of his labor. So there's no one that I like to see enjoying life more than Charlie Hartley. Now, I would love to get in the boat with him at Thousand Islands and watch him fight. Well, I mean, based on his tackle, it sounds like he doesn't really fight him. It sounds like he kind of wenches him in. But I would love like 4.5, 5 pound smallmouth Charlie Hartley hooked up, jumping. Like that would be. That's the stuff of legends. All right, I'm gonna tease this a little bit. So I did a show yesterday that is going to run on Monday at 8:30 a.m. So Monday's show will not be live. It'll be a recorded show. I'll probably be on the water Monday, but that's not why. A lot going on in the fishing world. I covered it last week ad nauseum. The press release from Bass about the 50-50 split and forward-facing sonar. A lot of anglers have been speaking out on both sides of the coin just about the Elite Series, about Bassmaster, a lot of changes in the industry as a whole. This kind of started a while ago, trying to work towards this show, but I wanted to kind of get as much information out there before I actually made it happen. Big shout out to Mandy, with the communications department over at Bass, and a bunch of other people at Bass for making this happen. But I'm going to put a screenshot up of this, and we're not going to play it now, but that right there is a full 1 hour interview with the CEO of Bass Angler Sportsman Society, Chase Anderson. And big shout out to Chase for taking the time out of his schedule to jump on BTL to talk about it, about what is happening. I thought it was a very candid interview. I told Chase beforehand, I said, listen, I said, I want this interview to be beneficial for both of us. I said, in order for it to be beneficial for BTL and the brand, and it is, I said, this is not a fluff piece for Bassmaster, making Bassmaster look good. It's also not a hit piece on Bassmaster, trying to make Bassmaster look good. I said, I have some questions that I think are fair and are valid, but that are recurring and that people want answers to. And to his credit, Chase said, bring it on. So Monday, 8:30 a.m., the CEO of Bass, Chase Anderson, will be on the show. Really looking forward to seeing how that's received. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I can tell you, just having done, well, literally thousands of 1 to 3 hour long Bass Talk Lives over the years, you can kind of get a flow and tell how the show's going and how it's going just kind of based on time. Like I told Charlie we'd have him on for 15 minutes. He was on for 35 minutes, but that's Charlie. I mean, we have the rapport and go back and forth. I wasn't exactly sure how the recording would actually go with Chase. It's all one take. There's no cutaways. Everything that was said stays in it. You can see it's a one piece from Welcome to BTL all the way to the end. So everything was left in it. And he had a meeting that, not a podcast, a meeting, like a business meeting at a specific time. So we had to get out of there. And I looked at the clock one time and we were like 8 minutes in. And I was like, okay, we're flowing. The next time I look at the clock, we're like 42 minutes in. And that's how I know, in my opinion, that's kind of how I gauge how the interview went. So very interesting interview. So encourage you to jump on Monday to listen to that. There's still a few of the 25th anniversary Hall of Fame edition lures. I just got I can't share how many. There's just not that many left. I know the Rick Clunn one is already sold out. The Roland Martin Peacock Bass. Do I still have those in the... What did I do? I think I brought those out, unfortunately, to the kitchen. I got the Roland Martin and the Rick Clunn one. But lurenet.com, use capital BTL 25 to get 15% off on those. Those are a limited run of 300 baits of each one of those. When they're gone, they're gone. They're painted by Frank Scalish. And then also the BTL merch store is open. If you want a hat, there's koozies up there. It's open until the 21st. And then the items that you order now will ship that following week following the 21st. That way it saves you money instead of having me having to purchase all the items before they close the store, tabulate all the orders, and then ship it out. All sorts of one-of-a-kind things. There's 100 Frank Scalish smallmouth bass patch hats. Once those 100 are gone, they're gone. There's 100 PVC Circle BTL logos in the Pacific and the Richardsons in there. Once they're gone, they're gone. Also, just the basic T-shirts and some other designs there. If you're interested in that, have questions about it, just shoot me a direct message on Instagram at Matt Pengrak or email me, matt@basszone.com. So we'll talk about probably the whole... I have no idea what we're talking about with Frank tomorrow. I probably should call him and figure that out. But an energy-filled show today with Charlie Hartley. And I'll tell you what, it kind of made me want to go fishing. And I've got a couple hours here. I might slide out and try to land a couple. Anyway, this has been another edition of BTL Bass Talk Live. Same time, same place tomorrow. We'll talk to everyone then. See ya.